Good afternoon and welcome once again to DuPage Medical Group Field, home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints here in Joliet, Illinois. Terry Bonadonna with you as we get set for Game 2 between the Fighting Saints of St. Francis and the Olivet Nazarene Tigers. Welcome once again to the broadcast. Game 1 went to the Saints, 4-3. A walk-off win on a Dolan Nicholson bases-loaded infield single with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. And now here we go with the start of game number 2. The first pitch is taken for a strike, and we're underway. 5:19 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It's 0-1 on Timo Schau. Schau had a pair of hits in game 1 today. He takes a strike here, quickly behind 0-2 against senior right-hander senior left-hander Nick Villasenor for St. Francis. Swing and a miss. How about that start for Villasenor? 3 pitches, a strikeout, 1 away in the top half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Olivet starting lineup. We just saw Timo Schau strike out. Jordan Veldman, the second baseman, bats next. Then it's Terry Daniels, the center fielder. Jacob Boltice, the right fielder, hits fourth, followed by catcher Tyler Wheeler. Veldman fouls this ball off to the right side, out of play for strike 1. Nathan Moonen hits sixth at shortstop. Braden Payne is the first baseman. Batting 7th is the designated hitter, or rather batting 8th is Gunnar Pullins. Pullins is the designated hitter, and batting 9th is left fielder Kai Hudson. That lineup going up against left-hander Nick Villasenor, who's ahead of Veldman 0-2. And he misses low for ball 1. Can't quite put him away on the third pitch as he did with Timo Schau. Still looking to put him away right here. Ball high, 2-2. Jordan Veldman entered play today, hitting .357. He had a good first game, 2 for 3 with a triple and a run scored. Ground ball to the shortstop. Noah Carraro gloves it, throws to first. It's in the dirt, and a nice pick by Joe McGuire. 2 down. Nick Villasenor is making his second start and third appearance this season. He's 0-1 with a .338 ERA coming in. In his one relief outing, he picked up the save. In 5 1/3 total innings pitched this year, 2 runs allowed on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts. He hasn't walked anybody. And he's off to a good start today with 2 outs recorded as Terry Daniels takes ball 1 low and in. Daniels hitting .338 coming in with 9 extra base hits, easily the most on the team. Fouled back, it's 1-1. Daniels had a pair of hits in game 1, including a double, so he's actually up to 10 extra base hits for the season now. He had an RBI, scored a run, stole 2 bases in the opener this afternoon. Ball low, 2-1. It was an exciting game 1, back and forth. Both teams had leads, both teams lost leads. Saints pulled it out in a walk-off. Ball 3 on Daniels. He's ahead in the count, 3-1. Game 1 was a pitcher's duel yesterday that went to Olivet. Game 1 of the series, that is. Daniels swings and flies it into left center field. Sean Harper moves to his left, makes the grab, and ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the top half of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. No score. Travis Schoonover will lead things off for the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the first inning with no score on the board just yet. Nick Villasenor set him down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Let's take a look at the Saints starting lineup. Schoonover leads things off, followed by shortstop Noah Carraro and second baseman Josh Tesh. Cleanup batter is first baseman Joe McGuire. Dolan Nicholson hits fifth in center field. Batting sixth is DH Foster Heiss. Get to the final three after the first pitch to Schoonover, which misses outside for ball one. Sean Harper bats seventh in left field. Josh Kernbauer is at third base. And hitting ninth is catcher Liam Higgins. Schoonover flies it into center field. Terry Daniels backs up, puts it away, 1 out. So Travis Schoonover starts the game 0 for 1 after he went 1 for 4 in game 1 this afternoon. That brings up Noah Carraro. Tyler Gurton is doing the pitching for Olivet Nazarene today. Gurton off to a quick start with an out on just 2 pitches. And now a challenge against Noah Carraro, who squares to bunt but takes a ball high. Carraro had a big hit in the last inning of game 1, a pop-up on the infield that dropped between 3 players. Ended up leading to the game-winning run. He scored it. He takes ball 2. Reached base 3 times in game 1, went 3 for 4. Yesterday he reached 6 times in a doubleheader. He's red hot. He takes the ball outside 3-0, and this is the MO of Tyler Gurton. He doesn't throw a lot of strikes. We'll see how patient the Saints can be with him today. 3-0 offering. That is taken for a strike. 3-1. Gurton on the season 2-2 with an 8.27 ERA. He's making his 6th start of the year this afternoon. It is 3-1. Bunted down the third baseline foul. And that makes the count 3-2. Gurton has thrown 20 2/3 innings, and he's walked a whopping 22 batters with only 14 strikeouts. 27 hits allowed, 23 runs, 19 of them earned. So the ERA obviously lofty, but he walks more than a guy per inning. The man who started game 1 for Olivet today, Aaron Gustafson, also has had some walk problems, not nearly to that extent. But he came in with 12 walks in just 23 innings this year, and he only issued 1 in the 7 innings he pitched in game 1. There's ball 4. Carraro takes up high, and he is aboard. First base runner of the game for either side. It's good speed over at first base, and Josh Tesh will hit with 1 on and 1 out. Well, I talked a lot in game 1 about the troubles that Dylan Miller has had throwing out base runners. It's Tyler Wheeler behind the plate here in game 2. Ball 1 up and in on Tesh. Wheeler hasn't had nearly the same chance that Dylan Miller has had, but he's caught just 2 of 10 attempted base stealers on the season. Pickoff attempt to first. Carraro gets back in safely. 6 out of the first 9 pitches have been balls from Tyler Gurton, so we're very early, but not the start he was hoping for as Carraro takes off. The pitch is a strike, throw to second, off the glove of Jordan Veldman, but it doesn't skip too far away, so Carraro is not able to advance any further. He does steal the base, though, and for Noah Carraro, that is stolen base number 3 this season. So he stands at second. The count is 1-1 on Josh Tesh. There's a called strike. It's 1-2. So Gurton has done a nice job bouncing back on Tesh, getting ahead of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No score in the bottom of the first inning. A man at second base with 1 down. Tesh swings and flies it out to deep left field. Long way back for Kai Harper. Harper's at the warning track, and he watches that ball clunk off the wall. Carraro pulls up at third base, and Tesh gets to second with a double. Big swing from Josh Tesh, and not a great read from Noah Carraro. He should have scored on that one, but held up with 1 out in the inning, and so he ends up only at third base. That's one you don't see very often on a ball that hits halfway up the wall and left field for a runner not to score from second base, especially a fast runner. But just a bad read on it for Carraro, and so they're at second and third with one out for Joe McGuire. Still a really good situation for the Fighting Saints. McGuire went hitless in 4 trips to the plate in game 1 of today's Twin Bill. He gets his first at bat here in game 2, a big RBI opportunity for him. He swings at the first pitch and hits it foul for strike 1. Joe McGuire this season, 7 for 25 at the plate. It's a .280 batting average. He's got 1 home run, 4 RBIs. He'd love to add at least 1 RBI to the total. Ball 1 to even the count. He's got a chance, though, with a base hit to bring home 2 runs. Gurton sets for the 1-1. Called strike 2. So after falling behind the first couple of batters, this is the second straight man to go behind a ball and 2 strikes against Tyler Gurton. He'll try to put him away and go up against Dolan Nicholson with 2 outs. McGuire taps it foul. Still 1-2. Tough first inning for Tyler Gurton, but he hasn't given up any runs yet. He walked Noah Carraro. Josh Tesh just missed taking one out of the yard, doubling high off the left field fence. Time is called in the batter's box by catcher, Tyler Wheeler, actually. So time was called in the catcher's box. McGuire stepped out, back in, ready to face this 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped right at the plate. McGuire stays alive. No chance for Tyler Wheeler to make the catch on the foul tip and end the at-bat and the inning. So McGuire gets another chance with a 1-2 count. Gurton on the sun-splashed pitcher's mound sets for the next pitch. McGuire hits a grounder to the right side, picked up by second baseman Jordan Veldman. He throws to first and gets the out. The runners advance. That means Tesh goes to third, and Carraro comes in to score. It's 1-0 St. Francis on the RBI groundout from Joe McGuire. RBI number 5 this season for McGuire. And for the first time this week, the Saints strike first, playing their 4th game in the last 2 days. They had the lead for a little while in game 1 of today's doubleheader, but they didn't strike first. This time they do. Dolan Nicholson bats with a man at third base. He swings the first pitch and bounces it to third. Timo Schau fires across the diamond and ends the inning. Nice job by Tyler Gurton walking the tightrope and getting out of the inning with just the 1 run scoring. But the Saints do get that 1 run on 1 hit. They leave a man at third on our way to the second. 1-0 St. Francis. Nick Villasenor back to the mound after a very successful first inning. Set down the Tigers in order with a strikeout thrown in there. Here in the second, he'll face the middle of the order, Jacob Boltice, Tyler Wheeler, and Nathan Moonen. First pitch from Villasenor is a strike. Jacob Boltice in game one went 0 for 1 with a flyout, 2 flyouts actually. One of them brought home a runner from third base, so it didn't count against the old average. Sacrifice fly, he also walked once. This time it's a bouncer to the right side. Tough play for the second baseman, Tesh. He makes the sliding stop, throws to first, and gets his man. Great play by Tesh. 1 up, 1 down in the second inning. We've seen some excellent defense today from both sides, but particularly from St. Francis. Tesh makes the great sliding play there. We've seen Noah Carraro with exceptional defense all day at shortstop. Anytime you've got good defense like that up the middle, you're always happy. And the Saints have used it to their advantage in this one as Wheeler takes strike one. Their pitching in this series so far has been excellent. Going back to yesterday's game against Olivet, they've allowed just 6 total runs in 17 innings of baseball. Ball outside, 1-1. Wheeler did not start game one of today's doubleheader. On the season, he started 8 times among his team's 21 games. So he takes ball 2. 160 batting average, 4 for 25 at the plate. He does have 1 homer, 2 runs knocked in. Grounded on the third base line, foul. That evens the count at 2. Jeff Mulliken hasn't made any big changes to the lineup the last couple of days. He has kept the catcher in that 5 spot, whether it's been Tyler Wheeler or Dylan Miller. Ground ball to the shortstop. That's Carraro. Throw to first is in time. 2 down. 5 up, 5 down so far against Villasenor. And Nathan Moonen is the last hope in this second inning for Olivet Nazarene. Tigers had won 6 out of their last 8 games coming into today's doubleheader. They lost the opener. Line shot to the right side, knocked down by Josh Tesh. It ricochets out to center field. That's a base hit for Moonen. A little bit lower than Tesh thought it was. Hard hit ball by Moonen. Tesh thought he had to make a leaping grab for it. I don't think he did. I think if he had just stuck his glove up, he probably would have brought it in. But on the leap, the ball ended up kicking off the heel of that left-hand glove. So he overshot it on the leap. Turns into a base hit for Moonen. Tough to react on a hard hit ball like that. It got on him quickly. Braden Payne swings at the first pitch and flies it to shallow center. This time an easy play for Dolan Nicholson. And Nicholson and the Saints put away Olivet in the second inning. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and nobody left on as we go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the second inning, a good start for St. Francis as Nick Villasenor looks very sharp on the mound. They got a run in the bottom of the first. They'll try to add to their lead in the second with Foster Heiss leading things off. Left-handed hitting DH stands in and takes the first pitch strike from Tyler Gerton. Heiss is getting his first at-bat of the series. He's a 188 hitter on the season. That's in limited action, 3 for 16 with 1 RBI. Hard hit ground ball to right at the first baseman. Braden Payne carries it to the bag for the first out. Couldn't have put much of a better swing on it than Payne did right there. Really solid contact, but right on the ground and right at the first baseman. Turned out to be an easy play for Payne. 3 straight ground outs recorded by Gerton after 2 of the first 3 batters he faced reached base against him. He'll try to make it 4 in a row against Sean Harper. Strike 1 called. Harper's been swinging the bat well of late. Came in to the doubleheader today, hitting .250. And he went 1 for 3 in game 1 with an RBI single. He flies this ball into the seats in foul territory for a strike. It's 0-2. Harper just missed a second hit in game 1. Flew one out to deep left field. Kai Hudson made a very nice running catch just in front of the wall. Harper takes the ball. It's 1-2. An encouraging showing so far from Tyler Gerton after he was a little bit wild out of the gate. He's calmed things down as Harper pops it up to the right side. Playable for Veldman. The second baseman makes the grab for out number 2. Gerton's command issues certainly take center stage whenever he pitches right now. When he is not walking guys, he has been a very successful pitcher over the course of his career at Olivet Nazarene. But the control issues have gotten the better of him more often than not so far in his senior year. Josh Kernbauer is the batter. Kernbauer takes strike 1. Josh Kernbauer, the third baseman, went 1 for 3 with a single in game 1. He makes contact here, but grounds it weakly to the shortstop. Nathan Moonen has some trouble with it, throws to first, and it's late. Kernbauer is aboard. Infield single for Kernbauer. And the inning continues. Looked off the bat like it was going to be inning over. Not a hard hit ball from Kernbauer, and he runs well, which helped him beat that one out. It also didn't hurt that Moonen didn't get a clean grip of it out of his glove. Just a slight delay in that transition from glove to hand. That was enough. Here's Liam Higgins. Throw to first. Kernbauer dives back to the bag. No steals this year for Kernbauer. Hasn't attempted one. Liam Higgins takes a strike. Higgins gets the start behind the plate after Jake Lasota began game 1 in the catcher's position. Lasota had the hit that opened up the 7th inning rally that won the game for St. Francis. Sat down for a pinch runner and still sitting as Higgins gets the start here and takes strike 2. Liam Higgins hits 167 overall, 3 RBIs. Throw to first base, nearly got him. The Olivet bench thought they did get him. Good move for Tyler Gerton, but Kernbauer does just beat the tag. Gerton still just 1 strike away from ending the inning. And he gets that strike. Foul tipped into the catcher's glove. First strike out of the game for the senior Tyler Gerton. And the second inning comes to a close. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at first base. We'll go to the third. 1-0. Fighting Saints lead. It's 1-0 St. Francis after 2 innings. They got an RBI ground out from Joe McGuire back in the first. Nick Villasenor has been very impressive so far. He's given up just 1 single through 2 innings. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 here in the third. First chance to face Gunnar Pullins, and he fires a strike on him. Pullins is getting his first at-bat of the day. First at-bat of the 3-game set. He bounces this one to third base, charging Kernbauer. Nice pick, throw to first, just in time. Well done by Josh Kernbauer. Softly hit ball, had just enough time to go with the glove rather than trying to barehand it. And he made a quick transfer, a strong throw to first base, retired Pullins by milliseconds. Ball 1 on Kai Hudson. Hudson, the number 9 batter, hits for the first time against Villasenor and takes the ball upstairs. 2-0. 1 strikeout, 4 groundouts, 2 flyouts so far. Villasenor has been quick. He's been efficient. He's gotten outs any way he can. He's cycling through this lineup. There's a breaker over the outside corner. 2-1. Kai Hudson 0 for 3 in game 1. Was robbed by Sean Harper. And a great running catch out in deep left center in one of his at-bats. He takes a ball. It's 3-1. Swing and a miss. The count goes full. Hitting 161 entering doubleheader today. Hudson has started every game this season for Olivet. Bouncer foul past third base. The count remains full. Longest at bat of the day so far for an Olivet Nazarene hitter, making Nick Villasenor work here. Good eye so far for Kai Hudson. Hudson, a patient hitter. He does lead the team in walks. Bounces this one to the left side. Another chance for Kernbauer. Strong throw to first. He got him again. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of chances for Josh Kernbauer. He's made them both cleanly. And we're back to the top of the order. All of that will try to go at it. Nick Villasenor a second time each, starting with Timo Schau.
Third baseman, number 54, Timo Schau.
Schau is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the first inning. Ball low and in. It's 1-0. Fouls this one off of his leg. That evens the count 1-1. Schau drops to one knee, but he's okay as he gets quickly back up and gets himself ready to dig back in. Back-to-back groundouts to the third baseman have begun this inning. And now Nick Villasenor trying to put away Timo Schau and move on to the bottom of the third. The 1-1 pitch. Foul tipped into the catcher's glove. Strike 2. Time called in the batter's box. Schau struck out swinging on 3 pitches in the first inning. The only strikeout so far for Villasenor. Looking for number 2 right here against the same batter. Instead, it's fisted to the right side. Played by Joe McGuire on 1 bounce. He steps on his base and ends the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the third. Very nice start for the senior southpaw so far today. We go to the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Saints. Top of the order for St. Francis, bottom of the third inning. Saints lead 1-0. It was this trio, Schoonover, Carraro, and Tesh, that started things off in their run-scoring rally in the first. They'll get their second look at Tyler Gurton as Travis Schoonover takes the first pitch outside for ball one. Nick Villasenor is off to an excellent start for the Fighting Saints in this game, making this one-run lead stand very tall, even though we're very early. Ball low, 2-0. But also the way he's pitching makes you feel like you can add 2 or 3 runs to this lead. Saints could feel a lot more comfortable. Ball low, 3-0. Talked in the first inning about Tyler Gurton's consistent control problems this year. They have not really shown up so far. He does have 1 walk through 2 innings. And now he's got 2 walks. This is inside a 4-pitch free pass issued to Schoonover. In the second inning, his control was just fine. He threw 11 pitches in the entire inning, and 10 of them were strikes. But he's put Schoonover on base. Good base runner is on to lead off the inning, and the batter is Noah Carraro. Shao is even with the bag at third base. Carraro, a serial bunter, is one to keep an eye on here. Pick-off attempt to first. Schoonover didn't move because he didn't even have his foot off the base. But Olivet has had to be very careful about keeping base runners close based on the success rate of steals against them this year. Another throw to first. This time Schoonover was a step off the bag and had to step back on. Opposing teams have gone 54 out of 58 trying to steal against Olivet this year, well over 90%. And Carraro is hit by the first pitch that Gurton throws. So 5 pitches this inning, none of them in the zone, and 2 base runners already. A 4-pitch walk followed by a hit by pitch. And Gurton and the Tigers are in some trouble.
Second baseman, number 9.
Here's Josh Tesh. Tesh doubled off the left field wall in the first inning. He's 1 for 1. Now a chance to do some damage with 2 men on base and nobody out. Called strike 1, first strike of the inning. Gurton trying to settle down and keep this game tight. We're in the bottom of the third inning. We'll play 9 here in game 2 of the doubleheader after the Saints took game 1 and 7. Fouled back by Tesh. The count is 0-2. Saints got swept in a doubleheader yesterday, albeit against 2 different teams. They would love to turn the tables today and finish with 2 victories on the same day. They already won game 1. That was their first conference win of the year. The 0-2 hits him in the head, and that's back-to-back hit batters, and that time it hurts Gurton even more because it was an 0-2 count, but he's loaded the bases. For all of his wildness, and again, he's walked on average more than a guy per inning this year. He had not hit a single batter in his first 5 starts, but he's plunked 2 in a row now in this third inning. Schoonover is at third. Carraro's at second, and Tesh is at first. So we'll get a visit to the mound here. Left-hander starts throwing down in the Olivet bullpen. That's number 19, Griffin Solly. And as he starts to throw, Jeff Mulliken visits Tyler Gurton and tries to settle him down. First 5 pitches of the inning were all balls. A 4-pitch walk to Schoonover, and then Carraro got hit on the left arm. Then he bounced back, got ahead of Tesh 0-2. Looked like he was on the verge of getting his first out of the inning, and then on the 0-2 pitch, a slow curve that didn't quite curve. Dropped right onto the back of the head of Josh Tesh, his second consecutive hit batter. And Tesh barely even reacted to getting hit by that pitch. You always worry when a guy gets hit on the head, and you could hear that one off of his helmet, so it definitely did get him up high, but not a lot of velocity on that ball. He was able to turn away from it and not get hit flush. So if you're going to get hit in the head, I guess that's the way to do it. We're ready to continue with Joe McGuire in the batter's box and the bases loaded. McGuire takes ball one high. Joe McGuire is 0 for 1, but he does have a run batted in, the only one of the game so far. Brought home Noah Carraro on a ground out in the first inning. He batted with 2 on and 1 out in the first. Here in the third, he bats with 3 on and no outs. He swings and fouls it back, 1-1. An aggressive cut there from McGuire. It would certainly behoove him to be patient here, which he was, taking the first pitch before getting one he thought he could drive. But Gerton's been all over the place. So McGuire is definitely going to be wary about helping him out. Doesn't want to do that. Here's a swing and a fly ball down the right field line. That ball drops just foul. Inches wide of the line. That would have been at least 2 runs for St. Francis if that had stayed fair, but a couple of inches to the right of the line, and it falls for strike 2 on McGuire. That one was a little bit deeper than the hit that Jake Lasota had to lead off the 7th inning of game 1, but otherwise a similar location. Lasota's hit was just inside the line. Started a rally that ended with St. Francis winning the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-2 on McGuire. Gerton could really use a strikeout right now. And he gets it. McGuire chases outside the zone for strike 3. That's a huge first out for Gerton. It's his 2nd strikeout of the game. The bases are still loaded, but 1 out now. Dolan Nicholson is the batter. Now Gerton looking for the ground ball. If he can get it, it may put an end to his troubles here in the 3rd. Saints are looking for a big inning. First 3 batters walk, hit by pitch, hit by pitch. They haven't put a ball in play yet, but they've put the pressure on Olivet, trying to break this game open. Nicholson takes ball 1 up high. Dolan Nicholson grounded out to 3rd base in his first at-bat. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI single. A walk and a run scored in game 1. That RBI single was the walk-off infield hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nicholson swings and grounds it to 2nd base. Veldman spins and throws to 2nd. Gets the force. No chance to turn 2. So it goes as a fielder's choice and an RBI. It's 2-0 St. Francis. He'll take that. He was looking for a base hit to try to bring home multiple runs, but at least running hard down the line, preventing the double play, allows the Saints to get 1 on the board. Josh Tesh is retired, 4-6 on the play. But Carraro advances to 3rd and Schoonover scores. Dolan Nicholson is now the man at first base. Here's Foster Heiss. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Hit the ball hard his first time up. He hits it pretty hard here, off to right field, diving, and making a great catch. Jacob Bultice puts an end to the inning. Good swing from Foster Heiss, but he got it off the end of the bat. It was shallow to right field. Jacob Bultice had to sprint in, and as he laid out, he was able to pull that ball in. If he had missed it, it would have been at least 1 run, probably 2 for St. Francis. Instead, they hold the Saints to just 1 run after loading the bases with nobody out. And as we head to the 4th, it's 2-0. Fighting Saints have the lead. Jordan Veldman takes strike one, run away in the fourth. Veldman is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop. 2-0 St. Francis. They have just 2 hits through 3 innings. Villasenor misses outside for ball 1. They've taken advantage of Tyler Gerton's wildness. He's walked 2 and hit 2 batters. And the Saints have come up with 2 RBI groundouts. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. Hence the lead. Olivet has had just 1 base runner through 3 innings. Villasenor working very quickly. Gets a foul pop out of play to the right side to make the count 2-2. Veldman, Daniels, and Boltice this inning for Olivet Nazarene. Their deficit has doubled since the last time they were at bat. Bouncer foul to the left side, still 2-2. Still a narrow lead for St. Francis here in the top of the fourth. So far so good though for their left-handed pitcher, making his second start of the season. Another foul ball hit by Veldman. Villasenor has been good so far this year. Kind of the opposite of Tyler Gerton on the mound. There's ball 3. The count goes full. I don't mean to say he's been good, and that's the opposite of Gerton. Just in terms of their numbers. A lot of walks for one, not many for the other, as Villasenor plunks one into the zone. Veldman goes down looking, strike 3. Thought he had the first walk of the game. Instead, he is strikeout victim number 2. Villasenor has not walked anybody all season. Small sample size. He's going to at some point. He's only thrown 9 innings this year, but even through 9 innings, it's a nice number to have. Terry Daniels tries to check his swing, but can't. Strike 1. His counterpart, Tyler Gerton, is walking more than a guy per inning. Villasenor working extremely quickly, just letting him hit the ball. So far, it's not going anywhere. He hits Terry Daniels, though, and Daniels is aboard with 1 out in the inning. That just barely hit Daniels. First batter that Villasenor has hit this year, so it's the first one he's put on for free. I'm not sure that even got Daniels. I think it may have just grazed over his shoelaces. You could kind of hear 2 sounds, but he didn't react at all, so I think it was just a quick graze by. But there's a ground ball to the shortstop. Should be 2. Flip to second for 1. The relay throw. Not in time. Credit to Boltice for running that one out, because off the bat that looked like an easy double play. A hard hit ball right at Noah Carraro. It was almost hit too hard because Josh Tesh didn't have time to get over to the bag. Boltice dove head first to first base, and his hand touched the base just before the throw got there. So it's a fielder's choice, 6-4. The inning continues with 2 outs and a man on first. And the batter is Tyler Wheeler. Pick-off throw to first. Boltice gets back. He is a threat to steal. 4 stolen bases on the year. Ranks second on the team. But he's been caught 3 times, so not a high percentage base runner. Strike called on Tyler Wheeler. Villasenor has thrown a first pitch strike to every batter this inning. He's doing a good job of getting ahead of guys. Ball outside, 1-1. 2-0 St. Francis on the power of RBI groundouts from Dolan Nicholson and Joe McGuire. Ball 2 on Wheeler. 2-1. 2 outs with a man at first base. Terry Daniels was hit by a pitch. Boltice took his place on the fielder's choice, and now Wheeler takes a strike. The count goes even. 2-2. 2 outs. Villasenor looking for his 4th straight 0 up on the scoreboard. Foul back off the screen. Well, these Olivet hitters have done a good job keeping their at-bats alive, certainly of late. The third 2-strike foul ball hit this inning. Veldman kept the at-bat going for 8 pitches before finally succumbing on strikes and went down looking. There's a foul tip, and the inning continues. Looked like Wheeler had gone down swinging, but not the case, as he just barely got a piece of that ball before it hit the ground. Liam Higgins says that he caught it. The two umpires will talk it over. The base umpire in this case actually probably would have had a better idea of whether or not he did catch the ball. And they rule that it did hit the ground after a foul tip. So we'll see at least one more pitch in this at-bat in this inning. Olivet will try to use the extra chance to big effect, trying to get themselves on the board. Good speed over at first base. Ground ball hit to third. Kernbauer grabs it. Kernbauer throws to first, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left thanks to the hit by pitch, but another scoreless frame for Villaseñor, who's been brilliant through 4 innings. We go to the bottom of the frame. 2-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the 4th inning, St. Francis leads Olivet Nazarene 2-0. Saints will try to add to their lead with the bottom of their order up in the 4th. Sean Harper swings at the first pitch, shoots it into center field. Well hit, but playable, as Terry Daniels backs up and puts it away for out number 1. Good start to the inning for Olivet. 1 pitch, 1 out. And the batter will be Josh Kernbauer. Tyler Gertine still on the mound for his 4th inning, and thanks to those who have corrected me on the pronunciation. If I remember correctly, I think I actually had that right last year. The pronunciation guide for Olivet has been changed. I think it needs to be re-updated. Gertine fires ball 1 upstairs on Josh Kernbauer, who reached on an infield single in the 2nd inning. Saints have just 2 hits today, and one of them that infield base hit. So they haven't hit the ball all that hard against Gertine today. Ball low, 2-0. Although Harper just crushed that last one, happened to be caught. They had 6 total base runners, though, thanks to 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches. There's a called strike, 2-1. Gertine has been able to dance around trouble, but mostly work his way out of it. He's kept the game close so far. Time is called by the catcher, Tyler Wheeler. 2-1 offering. Kernbauer waits back on it and pushes it foul to the right side. Count goes to 2-2. It's been a really well-pitched series overall. Both of these teams, really. 3-1 the final score yesterday, 4-3 in game 1 earlier today, and now another pitcher's duel developing, though we're still relatively early in this one. 2-0 St. Francis leads in the 4th. One hopper right back to the mound. Gertine grabs it, flips it underhand to first base. 2 down. That'll bring up Liam Higgins.
Number 17, Liam Higgins.
5 straight have been set down by Gertine. This is new game high for him. Looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the games. He faces Higgins, who struck out swinging in the second. First pitch of the at-bat is taken for strike 1. Yesterday it was Ethan Underwood for Olivet, who pitched 7 strong innings, followed by Graham Burke, who went 2. Ball low, 1-1. Game 1 of today's doubleheader, Aaron Gustafson went the distance. So in the first 2 games, just 3 total pitchers were used by Olivet. The Saints during that same time used 6. Fouled back 1-2. And that's not because St. Francis had guys pitching poorly. They just were a little bit more liberal about bullpen usage. Angel Sandoval also worked a pretty high pitch count by the time he was taken out yesterday. He lasted 5 innings. Didn't give up any earned runs. Ball low, 2-2. 2 outs, nobody on base. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. And Gertine trying to put away Higgins and wrap up a perfect frame. Ground ball softly hit left side. Charging, the shortstop Moonen gloves it and throws to first in time to get Higgins, who comes up limping at the end of the play. So hopefully he's all right as he is thrown out 6-3. A perfect 4th inning worked by Gertine, and we'll head to the 5th with the score still St. Francis 2, Olivet nothing.
Off the Olivet Nazarene, 5th inning.
We've played 4 innings in Game 2 of today's Twin Bill, and the Saints lead the Tigers 2-0. Olivet comes to bat in the 5th with Moonen, Payne, and Pullins due up against Nick Villasenor. Villasenor has been excellent through 4. He's allowed just 1 hit so far, 2 total base runners. He misses outside for ball 1 on Moonen. Nathan Moonen has the only hit of the game so far for Olivet. A 2-out single back in the 2nd inning. He fouls this one back, 1-1. Jake Lasota is now doing the catching for St. Francis. Liam Higgins grounded out to the shortstop to end the bottom of the 4th, and we saw as he was running down the first base line, came up limping at the end of the play. May have tweaked a muscle in the leg. As Moonen swings and misses, it's 1-2. And so he is done for the day. Lasota, who started Game 1, had a crucial hit in the winning rally, will be out there for the rest of the way. There's a fly ball out to deep left. Sean Harper chases it back, and it's over his head. Just out of his reach, it lands on the warning track. Moonen pulls up at second base, a leadoff double. So Moonen is now 2 for 2. The rest of the team has gone 0 for 12 against Nick Villasenor, but Moonen becomes the first man to reach scoring position here in the fifth, and with nobody out.
First baseman.
It'll bring up Braden Payne.
Braden Payne.
Payne is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time to the plate. And now he'll look to advance the runner. Payne grounded out in all 3 of his at-bats in game 1 today. 278 hitter coming in with a 371 on base percentage. Ball 1, up and out. Olivet Nazarene was able to overcome a 2-run deficit to tie the score in the 5th inning of game 1. Now they're trying to do the same thing here in game 2 as Payne takes outside 2-0. Of course, that was a 7-inning game, so tying it up in the 5th was a big moment because they were running out of chances at that stage. Fouled back, 2-1. Right now they still have more than half of a ball game to try to come back from 2 runs down. But no time like the present to get started if you're going to do it. Ball outside, 3-1. This is the 4th time today that Villasenor has gone to 3 balls on a hitter. Hasn't walked anybody yet. Trying to keep that going. Fouled away. It's 3-2. Gunnar Pullins is on deck, then Kai Hudson. Nathan Moonen led off the inning with a double. His 2nd hit of the game. Villasenor pitching out of the stretch. Sets for the payoff pitch. Throws to second base instead. Moonen easily back ahead of the tag. Now the 3-2. Low and in, he walked him. First walk given out this season by Nick Villasenor, senior from Addison, Illinois, transferred in last year from Blackhawk College downstate.
Designated hitter number 32.
Off to the west. 2 on, nobody out. Dangerous time here for Nick Villasenor, trying to keep the shutout going certainly, but most importantly trying to maintain this lead here in the 5th. Gunnar Pullins is 0 for 1. Grounded out to third base his first at bat. Shows bunt in his second at bat, gets it down to first base. McGuire throws to third. Nice pick by Josh Kernbauer. The out is recorded. Kernbauer and McGuire have had plenty of outs to each other today, but usually it's gone 5-3. This time a 3-5 fielder's choice. Moonen is retired. Payne advances to second on the unsuccessful sacrifice. It goes as a fielder's choice. And with 2 on and 1 out, the batter is Kai Hudson.
Left fielder number 1, Kai Hudson.
Hudson swings the first pitch, bounces it to third. It's a foul ball. Kai Hudson grounded out to third base in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. Saints could use another ground ball right here, trying to turn 2 and get out of the inning. Tying runs on base for Olivet. Ball up and in. The count is even at 1-1. There's a called strike. A ball and 2 strikes on Hudson. Back to the top of the order after this at bat. Nathan Moonen led off the inning with a double. They've not been able to advance anyone beyond second, though. Ball 2 just missed on the breaking ball. That evens things up. Moonen doubled, Payne walked. Gunnar Pullins bunted into the fielder's choice. So it's Pullins at first and Payne at second. 2-2. Hudson strikes out swinging. Foul tips it into Lesoto's glove. That's the third strikeout of the game for Nick Villaseñor. It comes at a big moment. And now he's 1 out away from ending the inning and keeping Olivet scoreless. Timo Schau is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging to begin the game and then grounded out to first base in the third inning. Villaseñor's first pitch to him finds the outside corner for strike one. Any old out would do now. You don't have to worry anymore about advancing the runners with 2 outs in the inning. Villaseñor just wants to head back to the dugout. It's been a lengthy inning. Ground ball to the shortstop. Looks like it could come to an end, though. Carraro tosses over to Tesh at second base. And the fifth comes to a close. Timo Schau grounds into the 6-4 fielder's choice. And the leadoff double goes for naught. Olivet does not score. They leave 2. Halfway through this game, it's 2-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the fifth, St. Francis 2, Olivet Nazarene nothing. Travis Schoonover leads things off for the Saints, swings at the first pitch and grounds it up the middle. That's through for a hit. Just out of the reach of a diving Jordan Veldman, Schoonover is aboard for the second time today. It's his first hit of the game. He walked and scored in the third, and for the second time, he leads off an inning by reaching. The Saints will try to get him in once again, starting with Noah Carraro. Carraro has been on base twice. Now in 4 games over the last 2 days, he has reached 11 times. No hits yet in this game. A walk, a hit by pitch, a stolen base, and a run scored. Schoonover takes off. Carraro fouls it away. Looked like the hit and run was on right there. It's a strike on Carraro, though, 0-1. Schoonover didn't get a huge jump. He was looking back to the catcher as that pitch came in, so pretty sure that was not a straight steal. See if they've got anything on with 1 strike here. Carraro's been a big bunter over the course of the last couple of days. Really always is. But especially with a man on base, Gertin throws to first, I think partially to see if Carraro moved at all. He didn't. Now the 0-1, swinging away once again. It's a foul ball. And the count is 0-2. Saints got a run in the first and 1 in the third. Trying to keep the trend going in odd innings here in the fifth. Carraro was involved in both of the first 2 runs. He scored the first one. In the third, he advanced the runner, which led to the RBI ground out. He himself ended up stranded at third base in that inning. Saints have left 4 men on, but none in the fourth. Ball high and over the head of the catcher Tyler Wheeler. Sails to the backstop, and Schoonover advances 90 feet. He's at second base. One and 2 on Carraro after the wild pitch. A single for Travis Schoonover snapped a string of 6 consecutive batters retired by Tyler Gertin, and now he's in some trouble again with a man in scoring position and nobody out. The bullpen is going once more for Olivet. Tapper foul by Carraro. Still 1-2. Entering play today, in 8 games, Carraro had a whopping 11 hits. Doesn't take a ton of walks, 2 of them coming in, but again, in this game, he's gotten on base twice without a hit. 1-2. High fly, shallow right. Schoonover goes back to tag. I don't think this is deep enough, though. It's the catch is made by Jacob Boltice for out number 1. So Carraro looking to advance the runner. Ultimately was not able to do it, but the at-bat started with Schoonover at first and ended with him at second, so not a waste of time having Carraro in the batter's box there from the Saints' perspective. He was not able to move him over to third, though. 1 down, they've still got a man in scoring position for Josh Tesh, and Tesh can presumably score him with a base hit. Tesh has had a good day at the plate, 1 for 1 with a double. Hit one off the left field wall back in the bottom of the first inning. He swings the first pitch here, pops it up, foul ground right side. It'll stay in play, and the catch is made by first baseman Braden Payne. 2 outs. In the span of 2 pitches, we went from a runner at second base and nobody out to a runner at second base and 2 outs, and all of a sudden, the pressure is on Joe McGuire. McGuire has had some chances today. Came up in the first with men at second and third and only 1 out. He drove in a run on a ground out. In the third, he came up with the bases loaded and nobody out. That time he struck out. This time a man at second base, 2 down. So he has hit today with 5 base runners in scoring position in his 3 at-bats and 6 total base runners. Strike 1. He does have 1 RBI, but he'd like more. You get that many opportunities, you want to make sure you're driving in a few at least. There's a fly ball out to deep right field. Long run back Jacob Boltice, but he gets there to make the catch. The inning is over. The Saints get a leadoff single, but leave Schoonover at second base. And they do not score. We go to the 6th. 2-0 St. Francis. Jordan Veldman leads off the top of the 6th against Nick Villasenor and swings at the first pitch, fouling it away for strike 1. 2-0 St. Francis after 5 innings. Villasenor has been in trouble only once. It was in the 5th after he allowed the leadoff double to Nathan Moonen. That ball bounces in to even the count at 1. He then walked Braden Payne. They were at first and second with nobody out. Olivet could not capitalize. Saints did the same thing in the bottom half of the 5th. They put a runner at second with nobody out, and they also didn't score. There's a 1-hopper off the glove of Villasenor. He chases it down to the third base side. Throw to first is not in time. Veldman is aboard to lead off the 6th inning on an infield single. Tough play for Villasenor. Still, I'm sure, frustrated with himself that he didn't pull it in. It did hit his glove, but a hard hit 1-hopper. It's one of those plays you can't necessarily expect a guy to make, but the play was there to be made. He recovered nicely after they ricocheted off to the third base side. A slower runner still would have been out, but Jordan Veldman moves pretty well down the line. Batter is Terry Daniels, and Daniels takes strike one. Daniels is 0 for 1 with a flyout. He's also been hit by a pitch. On 1-1, he bounces to third. Picked up by Kernbauer. He gets the lead runner. Nicely done by Kernbauer. 5-4. Fielder's choice. Daniels safe at first. Veldman is out. One away with a man at first base, and the batter is Jacob Bultice.
Right fielder.
Action in St. Francis's bullpen for the first time.
Looks
like Nick Clemens warming up for the second time today. Ball one on Bultice, which I guess now that I think about it, doesn't sound as though it makes much sense. You just said it's the first time the bullpen has been active, but the second time Clemens has. He was warming up back in game one of the doubleheader, but never ended up coming into the game. So this is the second time that he's warmed up today, but it's the first time that they have had to think about removing Villasenor, and he's been brilliant, but getting close to the end of his day as the pitches start to pile up. There's a called strike. It's 1-1 on Bultice. 0 for 2 in the game. He's grounded out twice, once to short and once to second. He rips this ball into left field, a hit. Daniels takes the turn but stays at second base. 2 on with 1 out. And Olivet once again is the tying man on base. First hit for Bultice. 2 hits in the inning for Olivet. Coming into this inning, they only had 2 hits in the game, and they both belonged to Nathan Moonen.
catcher number 33, Tyler Wheeler.
Tyler Wheeler is 0 for 2. Wheeler, the catcher, takes the ball outside. Count is 1-0. Moonen stands on deck, and Moonen's the guy who has had some good swings against Villasenor today. So this is an even bigger at-bat when you consider what's to follow. Wheeler takes a strike, 1-1. Moonen comes up with runners at first and second and 2 outs. It's not that you don't worry about him, but it limits the amount of damage that he can do, or is likely to. There's a grounder up the middle, sliding stop Josh Tesh. He flips it over to second base in time for the force. Nice job by Josh Tesh. If he had gloved that one cleanly on the slide, they probably are able to turn 2 there because the ball was hit so hard. But that was a difficult play, and the fact that he kept it on the infield in the first place and had the wherewithal to flip it to Noah Carraro standing on second base meant they were at least able to get 1 out, which for a time in that at-bat was in doubt. So runners at the corners now, 2 outs. Daniels advances to third. Bultice is retired. Wheeler's safe at first. He will not run for himself. Wheeler's the catcher, so he departs. Courtesy runner comes in at first. I didn't see who it was. I'll let you know in a second. It's Nathan Moonen digs in and takes a strike. 2-0 St. Francis. 2 on base with 2 outs in the 6th inning. That pinch runner at first is Nolan Lewis. There's a grounder to short. Carraro has it, flips it over to Tesh, covering second, and ends the inning. 2 hits in the inning, but 3 fielder's choice grounders, and the Saints get out of a jam. We've played 5.5, and St. Francis still leads it 2-0. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Saints looking to tack on a few to their lead as Dolan Nicholson takes strike one. They've been up by 2 for much of the game. They scored 1 in the first and 1 in the third. And it's been 2-0 ever since as Nicholson chops it to the right side. Charging is Veldman, and it's under his glove. Nicholson is safe at first. It's a good way to start a potential rally. An error on the second baseman. And the Saints have the leadoff man aboard for the second consecutive inning and the third time today. Nick Villasenor started for St. Francis. He's been great. And through 3 innings, he was nearly perfect. Through 4 innings, really, he was nearly perfect. Only 2 base runners in the first 4 innings. And even being ahead by only 2 runs felt almost safe. But Olivet has threatened the last couple of times they've been up. Runner goes on the first pitch to Foster Heiss, which is foul tip for strike one. The throw to second. Nicholson is safe. The throw had him beat, but the throw was a little bit to the third base side of the bag. Nicholson slid to the back of second base, avoided the tag, and he makes it in safely. So it's 0-1 on Foster Heiss. Saints have a man at second. Quick conversation with the umpires as Mulligan comes out to have a talk with them about that last call. The 2 men will confer, and the home plate umpire, I don't think, had any view of it, so I'm not sure he can add much perspective to this call. But Nicholson is at second base. Again, the throw had him beat. The tag wasn't there, and so he is safe. Count is 0-1 on Foster Heiss, who's gone 0 for 2 today. Hit a hard ground ball to first base his first time up and was retired by Braden Payne. And then in his second at bat, he was robbed by a diving Jacob Bultice out in right field. That was a great play to end that inning and leave 2 men on base for the Saints. We're ready to go. 0-1 on Heiss. Ball outside, 1-1. Dolan Nicholson reached on an error, stole second as the Saints try to add some insurance now that we get to the latter stages of the game. As I was saying a moment ago, this thing doesn't feel so comfortable for St. Francis right now, the way that Olivet's been threatening the last few frames. Heiss hits a grounder to the right side. This time Veldman makes a nice play on it and throws over to first for out number 1. Heiss does his job, advancing Nicholson over to third base. 4-3 on the putout. And it brings up Sean Harper. Productive out for Heiss there.
Left fielder number 22.
Harper bats for the third time. He's 0 for 2 in the game. He has popped out to second base and flown out to center. A flyout would look pretty good right now. He tries to get the third run of the game in. Clemens continues to throw in the Saints bullpen. I would guess we'll probably see him in the 7th. Called strike 1 on Sean Harper. Infield comes about halfway in for Olivet, all except for Brandon Payne. He's about a half step onto the grass as the pitch comes in. Time is called. Ball got loose from the St. Francis bullpen. We're ready for the 0-1. Harper takes low, 1-1. Spent a lot of time early in the game talking about the considerable control difficulties that Tyler Gertine has had over the course of this season. In the first 3 innings, he issued 2 walks and 2 hit batters. He hasn't had any over the last 3 innings. Swing and a miss, 1-2. He has straightened things out, and true to form, when he's not wild, he's been good. That's been the case over the last 4 years. It's been the case definitely today. This is a situation where St. Francis just needs some contact. The 1-2. Harper gives him the contact. A line drive into center field. Diving catch made by Terry Daniels. Great play But on the dive, he has no chance to hop up and throw out Dolan Nicholson at the plate. So it's a sacrifice fly for Sean Harper. And the Saints add one to their lead. 3-0 score. Harper did just what he needed to right there. He needed to put the bat on the ball. He hit a screaming liner to center field. That was a heck of a play by Daniels. It's always a difficult one when the ball is hit right to you in center field. That ball directly at the center field is a tough read. But Daniels made it with aplomb, dove, and got the out, and he needed to. But in getting that out, the run scored anyway. Olivet tried to appeal over to third base there, but Nicholson did not leave early. So the bases are empty with 2 outs now, and Kernbauer takes ball 1. It's an unearned run against Tyler Gertine. The inning began with Dolan Nicholson reaching on an error. It's all right with the Saints. They'll take him any way they can get him. Fouled back 1-1. Josh Kernbauer is 1 for 2 with a single. He grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. Here's the 1-1. Hit in the air, shallow right. In fact, it'll stay on the infield. Second baseman Jordan Veldman makes the catch and ends the inning. The Saints get a big insurance run here in the 6th, thanks to an error, a stolen base, and a sacrifice fly. No hits, nobody left on. We've played 6 out of 9, 3-0. St. Francis leads. Ball 1 up and in. We're underway in the top of the 7th inning. It's 1-0 on Braden Payne, who tries to start an Olivet Nazarene rally as their deficit has grown to 3 runs now. Saints got one in the bottom of the 6th. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Payne is 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. All of that against Nick Villasenor. New pitcher in the game for St. Francis now. It's Nick Clemens, right-hander. Give you the numbers on Clemens in just a moment. His 1-1 pitch misses high and tight. 2-1. Nick Clemens is a senior, transferred in from Joliet Junior College. He's appearing for the 3rd time this year. No record. A lofty ERA of 43.2. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2. In an inning and 2/3 so far this year, he's allowed 8 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks with 1 strikeout. He's been wild, but he's a tough man to hit, as we've seen already in this at-bat. This is floated into shallow right field. Tough play, and nobody's going to get to it as it drops between Tesh and Schoonover. A bloop single for Braden Payne. Leadoff man reaches for Olivet Nazarene. That's become a recurring theme for them. They had only 2 base runners total through 4 innings. They've had their leadoff man on in each of the last 3 frames now. Nolan Lewis comes in to run for Payne at first base, as he did for Wheeler last inning. Here's Gunnar Pullins. Pullins is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Last time he tried to sacrifice himself on a bunt, but Saints ended up getting the lead runner. Tries to bunt again, but he takes a strike. Final line on Nick Villasenor: 6 innings pitched, no runs. Gave up just 4 hits and a walk. He struck out 3. Excellent outing today for Villasenor. He is in line for the victory if this score, or at least this lead, holds for St. Francis. He threw 83 pitches before being removed. Pullins gets the bunt down. A good one this time. First base side, picked up by the pitcher. And Clemens throws to McGuire at first base for out number 1. Successful sacrifice for Gunnar Pullins. Goes 1-3. Lewis, the courtesy runner, moves on over to second base.
Left fielder number 1, Kai Hudson.
Here's Kai Hudson. Hudson is 0 for 2. He's grounded to third and struck out swinging. Second time he's come up with runners on. Second time he's been up with runners in scoring position, or at least one. Ball outside, 1-0 on him. Approaching 7 o'clock in the Central Time Zone. The sun is setting, still about 15 minutes away from the official sunset, but the lights are on as it's gotten darker over the field. Beautiful day today, 70 degrees at first pitch of game 1. The sun was shining. Just a perfect afternoon for 16 innings of baseball. We've had 13 of them, played pretty successfully so far. Here's the 1-0. Outside, it's 2-0 on Kai Hudson. St. Francis took the opening game this afternoon 4-3. They lost a 3-1 lead, but came back with a run in the bottom of the 7th. A walk-off win on a Dolan Nicholson 2-out infield single. Hudson hits it a mile high to shallow center field. Nicholson comes in, but Carraro, the shortstop, is there to make the play. And Hudson is retired for the second out of the inning. Nolan Lewis is unable to advance beyond second base. He's still there with 2 down. And Timo Shaw will be the batter. Shaw is 0 for 3 in this game. He has struck out and grounded out twice. 2 for 12 in the 3 games against St. Francis over the last 2 days. Hard hit foul ball to the left side for strike 1. Good swing that time from Shaw, but he was way out in front of it. SCHAU. Timo Shaw batting for the 4th time in the game with a runner at second base and 2 outs. Braden Payne hit a bloop single to right field to lead off the frame. On 0-1, a pitch in the dirt smothered by Jake Lasota. Count is even at 1. Righty to righty, the next pitch. Lined right to the shortstop. Noah Carraro drops to his knees and makes the grab. Now that's baseball sometimes. Braden Payne hit a little bloop shot to right field and it dropped in for a hit. Timo Shaw gets it on the barrel. It's a screaming liner, but it's right at the shortstop and the out is recorded. So despite the leadoff single, no runs for Olivet in the 7th. They leave a man at second. And at the stretch, our score is still 3-0 St. Francis. Jake Lasota, Travis Schoonover, Noah Carraro due up for the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the 7th inning. They lead 3-0. First pitch to Lasota is flown into center field. Routine for Terry Daniels, out number 1. Tyler Gertine still on the mound for Olivet, and considering the way this game started, if you just saw the first couple of innings, I don't think anybody would have guessed that Gertine would outlast Villasenor in this game. That's exactly what's happened. Villasenor was not removed for struggling. He pitched well all the way until the end, but was removed after 6. Gertine has settled down. After the first 3 innings were very shaky for him, he's been excellent the last 4. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Travis Schoonover. Saints got a run in the first inning, thanks to an RBI groundout from Joe McGuire. A Josh Tesh double significantly contributed to that run. Ball low and in. 1-1 on Schoonover. They got a run in the third without a hit. A walk, a hit by pitch, another hit by pitch, and then an RBI groundout for Dolan Nicholson. And then in the 6th, Nicholson was the one who scored. He reached on an error and then came around on a sac fly. So the Saints don't have an RBI hit in the game. Schoonover whacks it into right center field, looking for the gap. It finds it and rolls to the wall. Extra bases for Schoonover. He heads to second. It's a 1-out double. Good game today for Travis Schoonover. He has reached base now in 3 consecutive plate appearances. He's 2 for 3 in the game with a walk. And another potential insurance run is on base for St. Francis.
Noah Carraro.
Noah Carraro stands in 0 for 1. He's walked, he's been hit by a pitch, he's stolen a base, and he has scored a run. Carraro takes ball 1 low and away. So as I was saying, the Saints don't have an RBI hit today. They've got 2 run-scoring groundouts and a sacrifice fly. Carraro could pick up an RBI with a base hit here. Schoonover standing at first base. Here's the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Josh Tesh waits on deck. 1 out, a man on. Tyler Gertine trying to keep this score where it is. 3 runs is already a tall order. Tough to ask his team to come back from 4 runs down over the final 2 innings as Carraro pops it up behind first base into foul territory, playable, and the catch is made by Braden Payne. 2 down. Schoonover still at second base, so Carraro is unable to advance the runner. And Josh Tesh is the final hope this inning. I mentioned that there are no RBI hits, but what I didn't mention is that of the 3 runs scored by St. Francis, they've come in 3 separate innings, and 2 of those innings didn't even feature a hit. The other one featured 1 hit. So in their 3 run-scoring innings, they have a combined total of 1 hit. 4 hits total in the game. It's a combination of some bad luck for Olivet Nazarene, some good situational hitting for St. Francis, and Tyler Gertine running into control problems at just the wrong times. Josh Tesh takes the ball downstairs on the first pitch to him. It's 1-0. Tesh doubled in the first inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Popped out to first base in the 5th. The 1-0. Hit in the air out to right field. Long run Boltice, and he makes a running grab. Excellent catch by Jacob Boltice, saving a run, at least 1 run, and ending the inning. The Saints do not score. They get a 1-out double from Schoonover, but leave him at second base. And as we head into the 8th inning, our score is St. Francis 3, Olivet Nazarene 0. In the 8th inning, our score is 3-0. Nick Clemens gets a swing and a miss from Jordan Veldman to start things off here. Veldman, the number 2 hitter and second baseman for Olivet Nazarene, is 1 for 3 with a single thus far. The 0-1 pitch to him. Taken for a strike. 0-2. Terry Daniels will hit next, then Jacob Boltice, who made the nice running catch to end the bottom of the 7th inning. Ball outside, 1-2. I talked about it earlier. The defense today in the doubleheader has been really good on both sides. Just a very polished doubleheader overall. A lot of clean play. Ball 2 just missed. Saints wanted strike 3 called, but Clemens walks around the mound. He'll have to do it again to Veldman. Nick Clemens is in his 2nd inning of work. Trying to retire the leadoff man here. And he does. Strike 3 called. Veldman got the borderline pitch called his way on 1-2, but did not get the benefit of the call on 2-2. He goes down looking. Clemens has his first strikeout. 1 away in the 8th. First strikeout of the game for Clemens, 2nd of the season. Here's Terry Daniels. Daniels takes ball 1, low and away. Daniels has been on base twice today, but no hits. A fielder's choice, a hit by pitch, and a fly out. Hit by pitch just kind of grazed over his shoe. I don't think he'll be feeling it in the morning. Ball low and away, 2-0. Nick Clemens came on for the 7th, gave up a bloop single to Braden Payne, but then retired 3 straight. Ground ball to the shortstop. Carraro throws to first in time. McGuire, nice stretch, just does hold the base. And that's now 5 in a row retired by Nick Clemens. 2 down in the 8th inning. Last chance for Olivet is Jacob Boltice. Tigers are down to their final 4 outs. Boltice is 1 for 3 with a single. Strike 1 called over the outside corner. Saints have him where they want him as well, not just in terms of the score, but in terms of the batting order right now. Boltice takes low, 1-1. First 3 men have already been set down. If Clemens can retire Boltice here, we're looking at 5, 6, and 7 due up in the 9th. Chasing 3 runs, and that's not a bad position. Ball high, 2-1 for the pitching team, I mean. You don't want to have to face the heart of the order in a key moment. Of course, if you're going to score 3 runs in an inning, you need to have bare minimum 6 batters come up anyway. So we would get back to the top of the order for Olivet. There's ball 3. 3-1. St. Francis pitchers today in the doubleheader, spanning 14 2/3 innings pitched, featuring 4 different pitchers. They've only walked 2 guys total. Clemens is trying to avoid number 3. Foul tipped, it's 3-2. Ryan Daly walked 1 in game 1. Nick Villasenor walked 1 here in game 2. He also hit 1 batter. So 2 walks and 1 hit by pitch through 14 2/3 innings pitched today. Still very impressive. Pitching has been the story of the 3 games between these 2 teams this weekend. Check swing, he went around, it gets away from Lesota, up the first baseline, he tracks it down, the throw to first is not there. So Boltice reaches first base. Drop third strike. That may go as an error on Jake Lesota as well, because a good throw would have had Boltice by a step and a half, but Lesota just kind of short-armed it. Made a soft toss over to first base instead of setting his feet and throwing. And as a result, Boltice is safe at first base. The inning continues after the strikeout. And the batter is Tyler Wheeler.
Catcher number 33, Tyler Wheeler.
I like the names of the catchers on Olivet Nazarene. Wheeler is 0 for 3 today. Grounded right back to Clemens. He tosses over to first. Another lollipop toss. This time, though, McGuire is able to chase it down and step on the bag. The inning is over. Despite the drop third strike with 2 outs, the inning does conclude just 1 pitch later, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Saints lead 3-0.
Olivet, Nazarene. This evening, happy birthday, Ann Johnson.
It's the bottom of the 8th inning.
St. Francis, 8th inning.
Our score is 3-0. St. Francis has the lead. They've scored a run in the first, a run in the third, and 1 in the 6th, and they'll try to add at least 1 in the 8th as McGuire, Nicholson, and Heiss come up against a new pitcher. First pitch of the inning is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Griffin Sally, the new pitcher for Olivet Nazarene. He comes in for Tyler Gertine, who went 7 strong innings. McGuire pops it foul and out of play, 0-2. Sally on for the 3rd time this season. He has no record and a 12.27 ERA, 3 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. He's walked 5 and struck out 1. Freshman southpaw delivers, and McGuire taps it foul. Still 0-2. After a shaky start, Gertine had a fine outing today. 7 innings pitched, allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. And despite that good game, he is in line for the defeat right now. He cannot win. The 0-2 is poked foul to the right side. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody warming up in the Saints bullpen. Nick Clemens has thrown an effective 2 frames, and looks for the moment as though Brian Mahalik is prepared to have him go back out there for the 9th and try for a 3-inning save. Ball outside, maybe low. It's 1-2. St. Francis is 3 outs away from a doubleheader sweep today after they were swept in a split doubleheader yesterday, losing 1 game to Olivet and 1 to Calumet St. Joe's. Hard line shot, but right at the shortstop. A nice grab by Nathan Moonen for out number 1. Moonen, with that ball tailing away from him, was able to take one step, reach out and lunge to his right. Make the grab. Just about 2 feet up off the ground.
Center fielder
Good play by Moonen. One away.
Nicholson.
Here's Dolan Nicholson. He's had an interesting game today. Interesting day overall in the doubleheader. So he takes strike one. Game one, he had a walk-off infield single. Here in game two, he's got an RBI on a fielder's choice. In the 6th inning, reached on an error and eventually scored a big insurance run as he swings and misses to make it 0-2. Also involved in a little bit of controversy as he stole second base. The throw had him beat. There was no tag, and Olivet Nazarene wasn't too happy about the call. Nicholson pops this ball out of play to the left side. Still 0-2. Officially, Nicholson is 0 for 3. But again, he's got an RBI, a stolen base, a run scored. Anytime you can do all of that on an 0 for 3 day, it's been a pretty effective 0 for. Ball one, it's 1-2. Foster Heiss is in the on-deck circle. Nicholson fouls back another. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sally on the mound for Olivet Nazarene. First left-hander the Saints have seen in this game, but remember, they started Aaron Gustafson in game one, and he went the distance. Pitching from the port side. Nicholson fouls it back. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 straight 2-strike fouls for the senior outfielder. Call him an outfielder. He typically plays center, but we've seen him at second base a few times this year as well. All of St. Francis's games so far this season have been played inside this building. Even a couple of road games yesterday were played here. They'll finally hit the road this week. Tapped foul. Nicholson will see another 1-2 pitch. Sally looks good so far this inning, but hasn't been able to put anybody away, not easily anyway. Since coming in, he's faced 2 batters. They've both been long battles. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Nicholson goes down looking, and a good finish to the at-bat for Griffin Sally. That'll bring up Foster Heiss.
Designated hitter number 44.
Heiss is 0 for 3. 2 ground outs. He was robbed on a fly ball to right field when Jacob Boltheis made a great diving play. This is the 15th pitch of the inning, and it's up high for ball one. It's only the 3rd one that's missed the strike zone. 12 of the first 14 were strikes, but combined total of 6 2-strike foul balls. Ball inside, 2-0. 2 outs, nobody on. 8 of the last 9 Saints have been retired, going back to the 6th inning, a combination of 2 pitchers. Heiss pops it up on the infield. Payne is under it. Payne makes the catch. The inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Saints in the 8th, just the second 1-2-3 inning of the game for Olivet Hurlers. And we go to the 9th. Last chance coming up for the Tigers. St. Francis 3, Olivet nothing.
the Olivet.
Top of the ninth inning, last chance for Olivet Nazarene. They trail 3-0. They'll send Nathan Moonen to lead things off against Nick Clemens, who misses low for ball one. Moonen, Payne, and Pullins are the scheduled batters. Nathan Moonen 2 for 3, maybe the one guy unhappy to see Nick Villasenor depart this game after the sixth. Ball outside, 2-0. Villasenor gave up only 4 hits overall, but half of them were to Moonen, including the only extra base hit. This is the first time that these two men have gone head-to-head. Clemens in his third inning of work. Misses low, 3-0. In 2 innings, Clemens has allowed only 1 hit. He's got a pair of strikeouts. 2 total base runners against him. One of them was Braden Payne, who hit a leadoff single in the 7th, and the other was Jacob Boltais, who reached on a wild pitch on a 3rd strike. There's a called strike 1 on Moonen, taking that one all the way. Count is 3-1. Moonen takes ball 4 up high. Last thing you want to do as a pitcher when you've got a 3-run lead in the 9th is walk the leadoff man, but the positive for for Clemens is that with the 3-run lead, he doesn't have to really worry about that runner at first base. He can attack the batter. First, he's going to have to deal with his manager. Brian Mahala comes out and he's making a call to the bullpen. So Clemens' day is done after 2 very effective innings and a leadoff walk in the 9th. New man coming in. I'll tell you about him in just a moment. Right now, I'll step aside in the top of the 9th inning. Our score is 3-0. Olivet's got a man on with nobody out. It's the 9th inning, and Olivet Nazarene is determined to make this game interesting. They trail 3-0, but they've got their leadoff man on at first base. And a new pitcher coming in to face Braden Payne. It's right-hander Sam Pileggi, the freshman fireballer, looking for his first collegiate save. He has no record, a 1.69 ERA in 3 appearances so far this year. He's allowed 2 runs, only one of them earned on 2 hits over 5 1/3 innings. 4 walks are a concern, but 9 strikeouts shows just how impressive he can be, and he'll try to unleash that impression on Braden Payne right now. Ball 1. Payne is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. He's also flown out to center. Nathan Moonen is at first base. He drew a leadoff walk against Nick Clemens. Final numbers on Clemens to be determined because the man on first is his responsibility, but as it stands right now, 2 good innings. Ball inside, it's 2-0. In 2 innings, Clemens allowed 1 hit, 1 walk. Moonen to lead off this inning. None in his first 2 innings pitched. He struck out 2. There's a called strike. 2-1 on Braden Payne. Saints got a run in the first, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 6th. Just 9 total hits in this game. It's been a great pitcher's duel. Game now 2 hours old exactly. There's a called strike over the outside corner, 2-2. Only one error up on the scoreboard so far. It was a costly one, committed by Olivet Nazarene back in the 6th inning. It led to a run scoring. Both starting pitchers were excellent. Ball low, the count goes full. Braden Payne has not yet had to take a swing during this at-bat. Count is 3-2. There's a man at first with nobody out. A walk here would bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out. Foul tipped, and Lesota can't quite make the grab. The at-bat goes on. Payne got just enough of that one to deflect it away from the glove of Lesota. Just nicked the top of it. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4. A couple of innings ago, I talked about how impressive it was that Saints weren't walking anybody through the first 15 innings of today's doubleheader. A grand total of 2 walks issued by 4 different pitchers. And here in the 9th inning, 2 walks issued by 2 different pitchers against only 2 batters. No outs have been recorded. Saints are expecting a bunt here with Gunnar Pullins standing in. Pullins is not bunting. He takes ball 1 inside. Pullins has tried to bunt twice today. He does have 1 successful sacrifice and 1 unsuccessful sacrifice attempt. He's also grounded out, officially 0 for 2. That first ground out was on a swing, not a bunt. Up and in, 2-0. Pelleggi not throwing strikes. He's missed on 6 of his first 9 tosses. In the inning, we've seen 10 balls and only 4 strikes. And at the most crucial juncture of the game to just throw the ball over the plate. So far, the Saints haven't been able to do it here in the 9th inning. 2-0 pitch. Pelleggi fires one in. It's 2-1. Let's talk about it. When you have a multi-run lead in the 9th, no pitcher ever wants to think this way because you just want to get guys out. But if you just throw it over the plate, let them hit it, the worst that's going to happen is a solo homer. When you're up by more than 1, that's not that big a deal. There's a called strike, 2-2. That's why, in this case, more than any other, you want to avoid walks, but what's done is done. And now Pelleggi's just got to focus on the man in the box. 2 base runners still don't mean that much in a 3-run game. All that matters is the man at the plate. Pelleggi can let 2 runs score without losing any sleep over it. It's the 3rd run he's got to be focused on. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big bounce back for Sam Pelleggi. After falling behind Pullins 2-0, he comes back and gets him on 3 straight. The high fastball there elicits the swing and miss. And with 1 out, the batter is Kai Hudson. Hudson is 0 for 3. He's gone out in 3 different ways. A ground out, a strikeout, and a pop-up on the infield. If Pelleggi can get him to hit 1 more ground ball here, the game may just come to an end. Here's the first pitch to Hudson. Swing and a miss. He's got some life on that fastball. As I mentioned before, 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings coming in for Pelleggi. He's up to 10 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings pitched. After fanning Gunnar Pullins. He steps off the rubber and looks Moonen back to second base. It's Moonen at second. Payne at first. The man in the box is Hudson. Ball upstairs, 1-1. St. Francis took the opener in a nail-biter, 4-3. A walk-off infield single with the bases loaded. In the bottom of the 7th won it. Hudson fouls this back, 1-2. And now another nail biter, this time a little bit of a bigger margin, a 3-run game, but with the tying run at the plate in the 9th inning. It's not going to be easy for Sam Pileggi. He's ahead of Kai Hudson, a ball and 2 strikes, looking to put him away right here. The young right-hander stares in at his catcher, gets the sign. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. Hudson just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Tomorrow, St. Francis heads to the road for the first time this year. Another doubleheader. 6 games in 3 days for them, so they've gotten some good mileage out of their pitching staff today. In the dirt, it skips away from Lesota, and the runners advance on Sam Pileggi's wild pitch. Makes the count 2-2. It eliminates any opportunity for a double play, at least any standard double play. There's still other ways to get them, but I don't think anybody's counting on that right now. Pileggi just wants to get the man in the box and then worry about Timo Schau, who's on deck. Fouled straight back, still 2-2. Good at bat here for Kai Hudson. It's just the second time in this game that the Tigers have gotten a man as far as third base. Terry Daniels got there with 2 outs back in the 6th inning, but was stranded. And now Nathan Moonen stands at third with only 1 out in the 9th. Olivet does not have a hit this inning. Fouled back by Hudson again. But the Saints know what that's like. They have scored runs in 2 separate innings today without getting a hit. I mentioned before, they have scored in 3 innings in this game. And in those 3 innings, they've had a combined total of 1 hit. This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat. And it's low for ball 3. However this turns out, it's been a great battle between Sam Pileggi and Kai Hudson. And really a great effort by Hudson to keep the at-bat going. He'll see at least 9 pitches. Been a long appearance already for Pileggi. 3 tough battles against Payne, Pullins, and now Hudson. Here's the payoff pitch. Lifted foul to the right side and out of play. He eventually walked Payne. Came away with a strikeout after a tough battle with Pullins. And now Hudson's been the hardest out of all. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Pileggi is set. Here it comes. Fouled away again. And with each foul ball, the Olivet Nazarene bench gets more and more excited. They trail in the game 3-0. But they're feeling alive in their dugout right now, knowing they've got a chance with 2 men on base and only 1 out in the 9th inning. Pileggi steps off the rubber before another 3-2 pitch. The 11th pitch of the sequence. Fouled back. And we'll do it again. Pileggi came in with a man at first base and nobody out this inning. He walked the first man he faced. This is already his 24th pitch of the inning, with just 1 out having been recorded. Another right-hander throwing down in the St. Francis pen right now, just in case. Another 3-2. Strike 3 called. And now it's St. Francis's bench that's fired up. Hudson thought he had worked a 12-pitch walk. Instead, the 12th pitch clips the inside corner at the knees, and he goes down for the 2nd strikeout of the inning. And that brings Olivet within their final out.
Third baseman number 54, Timo Schau.
Timo Schau is the final hope for the Tigers. And that bat lasted almost 10 minutes. 12 pitches, but finally it goes the Saints' way. Timo Shaw is 0 for 4. He's grounded out twice, struck out, and hit a screaming liner right at Noah Carraro at short. He takes the first pitch strike. It's Moonen at third and Payne at second. They drew back-to-back walks to begin the inning. It's starting to look scary for St. Francis. Not that they're out of the woods now, but back-to-back strikeouts have calmed things down a bit. Ball low, 1-1. After that long battle with Kai Hudson, each foul ball was getting the Olivet dugout more and more excited. I looked to their reaction on that last pitch. They thought he had drawn the walk. They were getting ready to go crazy in that dugout. Craziest you'll ever see anybody for a walk. Check swing, he went, strike two. But when the home plate umpire threw up his hands to indicate strike three, it went St. Francis's way. Now the Saints have the momentum. They have the lead. And they have Sam Pelleggi on the mound just one strike away from wrapping this thing up with 3 straight Ks. Here's his 1-2 pitch. High fly ball down the left field line, deep into the corner. That will stay in play. It drops in fair territory. And 2 runs come in to score to make it a 3-2 game as Shao heads to second base with a double. And the Saints all thought it was foul. I thought it had dropped in foul territory as well, but it was hard to tell with the left fielder Sean Harper chasing it where he was standing when he first made contact with the ball. He wasn't able to make the grab. He reached up at the last instant and just missed it, but it looked like he did touch it, and his foot may have been in fair territory as he did. It is a double, a 2-run double for Timo Shao. And now the tying run is in scoring position with 2 outs for Jordan Veldman, the top hitter on the team. Big hit for Timo Shao down to his final strike. Veldman takes the first pitch strike. One of those runs is charged to Nick Clemens, the other to Sam Pelleggi. Veldman is 1 for 4 in the game. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. It's 1-1. Well, that hit from Shaw was so strange as well because there were so many things at stake. The ball could have been caught. The game would have been over. It nearly cleared the fence. It would have been a game-tying 3-run homer. And it almost dropped foul, which would have just been a harmless foul ball. It would have kept the at-bat going, but it ended up being a 2-run double. That ball is hit high in the air, out to deep left, but this is playable. Sean Harper backs up, makes the catch, and there's your ball game. The Saints win 3-2. Got a little hairy in the end, but they finish it off, and they come away with a doubleheader sweep of the Olivet Nazarene Tigers. A wild doubleheader today for the Saints. Back-to-back 1-run games, and both of them great pitchers' duels. Both of them come down to the final swing. 4-3 in the opener and 3-2 here in the second contest, and they'll happily take it. Wasn't as pretty as they would have liked in the end, but a win is a win, and they played well today against some good pitching from the opposition. In game 1, it was Aaron Gustafson who got beaten despite pitching well. Ryan Daly threw well in his first collegiate start for St. Francis, and in game 2 it was a pitching duel between Nick Villasenor and Tyler Gertine. It did not start off as a pitcher's duel. Villasenor was brilliant through 4 innings. He had allowed only 1 hit, while his opponent, Tyler Gertine, was struggling to throw strikes. The Saints got 2 runs in the first 3 innings on just 1 hit. In the first, Noah Carraro walked, Josh Tesh doubled, and then an RBI ground out from Joe McGuire made it 1-0. Then in the 3rd inning, Travis Schoonover walked. Carraro was hit by a pitch. Tesh was hit by a pitch. That loaded the bases. Dolan Nicholson brought home a run on a ground out. It was 2-0 St. Francis, and it looked like it was going to be a short day for Gertine, but he ended up settling in. After 2 walks and 2 hit batters through the first 3 innings, didn't issue another walk and didn't hit anyone else the rest of his time in the game. He did, however, give up another run. In the 6th, Dolan Nicholson reached on an error. He stole second base, moved to 3rd on a Foster Heise ground out, and came home on a Sean Harper sacrifice fly. So it was 3-0 Saints, and the way that Villasenor was going, it looked like that would be plenty. Villasenor ended up going 6 shutout innings. Nick Clemens came out of the bullpen. He was sharp in the 7th and 8th, but he walked the leadoff man in the 9th inning. That brought Sam Pileggi out of the bullpen. First batter Pileggi faced was Braden Payne. He walked. They were at first and second with nobody out. A wild pitch moved him to second and third, but Gunnar Pullen struck out. Kai Hudson worked the count full, fouled off 7 two-strike pitches. Actually, make that 6 two-strike pitches before finally looking at strike 3 over the inside corner. He was the second out of the inning. Then Timo Schau hit a fly ball out to deep left field in the corner. It dropped just fair and ended up scoring 2 runs, making it a 3-2 game. But Jordan Veldman flew out to left field, and that ended this one with a final score of 3-2. Our totals: 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Olivet, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for St. Francis. The winning pitcher, a very deserving winning pitcher, is Nick Villasenor, who went 6 innings, did not allow a run on 4 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Villasenor improves to 1-1 on the season. Sam Pileggi picks up his first save. He went 2/3 of an inning. Actually, went a full inning, Full inning, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed, and 1 run allowed. The losing pitcher, Tyler Gertine, he went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, only 2 of them earned on 4 hits with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and the loss drops his record to 2-3 for the season. St. Francis finally heads to the road after this one, but they'll be back home next week, so head over to GoFightingSaints.com, as always, for the full schedule, and all of our home games will be broadcast right here through the USF Fighting Saints YouTube page from DuPage Medical Group Field. That's going to do it for today's broadcast. Again, a doubleheader sweep for the Fighting Saints. They win 4-3 and 3-2. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Have a good night.